the contact time by half day.
All right, so
the contact time by half day.
I am not hearing Mrs. Rowe. It seems as though she has been bumped off the platform. Seems as though she has been bumped off the platform because I'm not hearing her. So let me see if she's back on, or she's able to come back in. All right, so let me just continue. Let me just continue from where Mrs. Rowe has left off. Welcome to those of you who are on YouTube. We are now live on YouTube. Welcome to you all. We started a few minutes ago. However, we were having some technical difficulties, and so you would have missed the beginning. However, Mrs. Rowe, our acting principal, was on the floor, and it seemed as though she had some technical issues. So she is no longer on at the moment. So we are working on having her coming back into the room so that she can continue to give you the details regarding the reopening of school. I'm just going to, while we make preparations for her and have her re-enter the room, I just want to just deal with some questions that parents have been asking about the reopening of school and what the expectations are. So I'm going to just deal with a few of them that I can remember right now. Just this morning, a parent called me to ask if her child will be allowed to come to school because she is not yet vaccinated. I just want to put it out there clearly so that you can all hear and understand that vaccination is not a requirement at this time to access school. So whether you are vaccinated or not, you are expected to report to school on the days that you are supposed to report to face-to-face school. All right. We, however, are still asking that you do your due diligence and take whatever precautionary measures that you need to take to ensure that when you get onto the compound, you are safe. And that may be vaccination for some persons. For other people, it may be getting your immune boosters, because I understand that there are some people who are unable to get vaccinated for different reasons, medical reasons, and so on. So whatever it means to you as it relates to making preparations and getting everything in order for face-to-face, that is what you will need to do. Because you are not going to be having a teacher if you opt to stay home and not come to face-to-face classes. You will not be having a teacher before you in any Google Classroom or in any online space. So it's very important that you understand that when we go face-to-face, you have to stay face-to-face. There is no online class, no classes online. All right, so I want you to keep that in mind, because some people are asking that question. So you know, you don't have to get vaccination, don't have to get vaccinated to come to school. You can come to school whether you are vaccinated or not. All right, please keep that in mind. So that's question number one that I know many people are having answered. Question number two, Persons are asking me if they would need to get registered to come to school because they have not yet been registered. They don't have any uniforms, no fees were paid. You were coming to class because we were in the online space. So you just log in because you have your credentials and you were in class. Nobody, removed you or anything like that. Because of the climate in which we were operating, we allowed you that privilege. However, bear this in mind. In order for you to be a legitimate member of the school community, registration is very important. You must be registered. If you are not registered in the school, we can assume that you are no longer a part of the school. There are many people who leave schools, one school to another, and they just don't re-register because they don't go through the normal or appropriate transfer channels. And so a lot of times when people don't register, administrators and teachers take that as a cue to indicate that you are not coming back to school. You are going to another school. So if you are going to come back to Innswood High School, you need to ensure that you register. We need to update your information, the information that you have on file. You may have changed your telephone number, your address. You may have created a new email address. We need to be able to contact you because if your child is at school and he or she falls ill and we are trying to get to you and is unable to get to you, then that is going to be a problem because we will have to call in the Ministry of Health and they will take your child to the hospital and you will need to go there. It's not like before when we, the guidance counselors and the Dean of Discipline and other staff members, senior teachers would take the child to the hospital as soon as they get ill. And we would call you and wait for you to come and so on. That is not how it's going to be done this time around because many people who come down with flu-like symptoms, we're going to assume that it could be COVID. And so teachers are not going to be just traveling with you. If it seems to be very serious, we're going to call in the Ministry of Health to come and call in the ambulance to carry the child to the hospital. Or if somebody from school is going to transport the child, they will not be able to stay with the child because the child obviously is going to go into an isolation area. So we need to be able to contact you. So it's important for you, parents, to ensure that your child is registered, right? Ensure that your child is registered. It's not about the money because, to be honest with you, parents, I don't know where in Jamaica you can find a school where the fees is $2,000 and $3,500. I'm still waiting to hear that school. The only school I know of that has those kinds of fees is Innswood High School. So it's not about the money. When we say register and make your contribution of $2,000, it's about being able to cover some of the costs that the registration process entails. And so I'm going to ask you, when you are asked to make that contribution of $2,000, please just do it. Just do it because it's not a lot of money. It is $2,000 if you are on path and $3,500 if you are not on path. So I want you to remember, parents, so if you have not yet registered the child, if you got the package before and you did not do the registration, fill out the forms, bring them in so that the child can be registered. You can make the payment at the school. You can make the $2,000 payment at the school or the $3,500, whichever category you fall in. Make that payment at the school and we will complete the process and have your child legitimately registered in the institution. So we wanted to ensure that you do that. It's very important. All right, so Mrs. Rose is back on. She was talking about the fact that we have reduced the school day by half an hour. That's where she was. Mrs. Rowe, we went live on YouTube just a few seconds after you got bumped off. So you may need to just recap so that those who are on YouTube can have all the information. as you go through the rest of your presentation. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hanson. All right, parents, I apologize. I don't know what happened. Maybe my internet fluctuated. All right, so as I was saying, that the ministry has mandated that the students return to school at least 2 days per week. And as a result of that, we have asked that grade 7 and 8 students come to school Mondays and Tuesdays from 8 until 2:30. The grade 9 O, that's O, D, G, and H, they will come to school Monday, Tuesdays, and half of Wednesday. So they will be dismissed at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. So the parents, you are to expect them back at home by, say, they leave school at 11 a.m. So you will know how long it will take for them to get back home. The 9I, N, S, and W, they will start school at 12 on Wednesdays, and they will come to school Thursdays and Fridays. So 9I, N, S, and W come to school for the first time, 12 p.m. on Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. Our grade 10 students, all our grade 10 students will come to school Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And our grade 11 INS students will come to school Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Our sixth form students will also come to school Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Our 11 O, D, G, and H students will come to school Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Parents, this circular was posted in all the parent groups. I'm just repeating the information that was given. Mr. Hanson, if you could display it on the screen for me, if you have it. Just display it on the screen for me so that the parents can see, and those persons who may not be in any group, any of the groups, please indicate, give your numbers to somebody so that you can be added to the different parent groups, so you can be getting the information as we share them. So that's it for the timetable. Parents, unfortunately, we can only operate one modality. We were given the green light to have one modality. It means that only face-to-face classes will be conducted. There will be no online class. There will be no online class. However, the Google Classrooms that were created during the online sessions that we had from September, those classes will remain. And your child is supposed to go to the platform on the days that they don't have any class, they don't have physical school. They should go on the platform to get their homework, their assignments, their readings, and everything, all the activities that the teachers would have left in the classroom. But when you go into the classrooms, students, parents, there will be no teacher there to supervise. So you go in at any time that you wish to see what is uploaded and to follow the instructions left there by the teacher. The only contact time that you will have with your teachers are the days that you show up for school. All right. The other aspect of the reopening of school will be dealt with by my other colleagues. But if there are any questions that I would need to answer later on, then I will be here available to answer those. So Mr. Hanson will display the circular that was posted in the group, so all the parents who are now on and students would be able to see the schedule come Monday. So school starts officially on Monday. Mr. Hanson, did you address the uniform? All right, so the uniform is stored at Star Walk. I did invite the supplier to come on this evening. I sent him the link, but I have not gotten any response. I'm not sure what is happening But what I was told is that a number of parents have been returning the uniforms that are small. Parents, students, once you have purchased the uniform previously and the child has now outgrown the uniform, the supplier says that if it has not been worn, it can be returned. If it had been worn, washed, ironed, cut, altered in any way, they will not take it back. But as long as it has not been worn, it is still in the package, it was not worn by the child, they will exchange. You will not get your money back, but they will exchange it for a uniform that fits. All right? All right, Mr. Hansen, I'm going to hand back to you, and then I will be here to address the questions.
All right, thank you, Miss. Mrs. Carl Roach, who was also on earlier, got bumped off at the same time. Our Dean of Discipline got bumped off at the same time when our acting principal had internet issues. And so not seeing her, she's unable to get back in because the room is full. All right, it's really unfortunate. However, she will get an opportunity when she comes in to speak to you about some of the protocols that we expect the students to follow when they come into school. And parents, I want you to listen keenly where that is concerned, because we will need your assistance. All right, we'll need your assistance. All right. Well, I see somebody asking, what about those who don't have their uniforms yet? All right, parents, we have decided to allow you to have your child wear a jeans pants, an appropriate jeans pants, and school PE shirt or a polo shirt to school until you are able to purchase the uniform. Now, bear this in mind. This facility will not be available forever. So you'll be expected at the soonest to purchase at least one set of uniform for your child. And so we don't expect that in February that we will have students coming to school still wearing jeans pants and a t-shirt or a polo shirt or a PE shirt to school, because you would have purchased their uniforms. So I'm going to ask you to make whatever preparations you need to make so that all our students can be fully ready for school, which includes them having all the books that you need to purchase for them. If you didn't buy any and you need to buy them now, buy them. If you didn't go to the book room and you need to go there now, please do so. You didn't purchase any school shoes and you need to get a pair of shoes, please do that now. If you did not purchase the uniforms and you need to get uniforms, do it now, because school is officially open for face-to-face classes. We're talking about, we're going back to where we were for the most part before COVID came in. The only part that we are still utilizing really from the whole COVID protocol is the social distancing and the sanitizing and the wearing of masks. But we are going to be having school as normal as can be. So please ensure that when they come to school, they observe all the rules of the institution, all the rules, not some, all, which includes no earrings, no chain and bangle, no necklace, anklet, bracelet, fingerlet, whatever it is. I don't know all of them, not allowed. No extension in your hair, no false hair, no eyebrow extension, eyelash extension, no markings or part in your hair. None of that is allowed. No plaiting, twisting of boys' hair and things like those. Your hair must be on one level. Boys' hair must be on one level, and it must not be a situation where I can just hold it with my hands like this, because it will be too high. So you have to ensure that your hair is at the appropriate, acceptable level for school as we know it to be from we were going to school. The standards have not changed. And so parents, I want you to bear that in mind. Many of you parents are calling us to ask if they have to cut their hair to come to school, yes, they need to cut it. Many of you are calling and asking us if they have to take out the herring and take out the falls here. Yes, it needs to come out because it's regular school. We have heard the stories. We have heard the stories. So for those who have some have funerals, we have heard it. Some have funerals, some have wedding, some have anniversary celebrations. All sorts of stories we have heard from parents as to why the girls have on, incorrect stuff. But bear this in mind, it's regular school. Whatever you're gonna do it over the weekend. But when it comes to the school week, they must be prepared for school. Before COVID came in, we had indicated to parents that students are allowed to carry a cell phone to school. And at that time, we had said that you should ensure that they have a banger phone. You know, the one we call banger, the one that cannot go on the internet, that they cannot use to go on WhatsApp and Facebook and so on and Instagram. And now they have TikTok and all of those things that they didn't have before COVID came in. And the reason for that, parents, was because we had a lot of students who were losing cell phone in school. People were stealing phones from people. Sometimes even friends stealing their friends' phone. And we had a lot of issues with that. And many times they were not returned. And the people are upset because they come to school and people steal their phones. But I'm saying to you, we can't monitor that. We can't manage that situation. And so I know many of you will want to give them the expensive phones to take to school. They don't need the expensive phones to take to school. We are face-to-face now. What they need is something that you can call them on to know if they get to school safely and where they are when they are coming home and so on. We will not take responsibility for any child who carry an expensive smartphone to school and it is lost or stolen. All right? Because nobody steals banger these days. They don't want that. So we will not take responsibility. And in the context in which we're operating now, when everybody's online and everybody's YouTubing and all of those, I think it's going to be even worse now than before the pandemic. So please, parents, I'm going to ask if you need to give them a cell phone, don't give them any expensive $90,000 iPhone and send them to school with it because it may be stolen. And when that happens, we can't help you. So I want you to know that from now. What we want to do is give them something that you can just call them and message them to find out if they are okay when they are on their way to school and after school, because cell phone is not in use while we are at school. Now, for learning purposes, they can use a tablet for learning purposes. And again, I want to emphasize that while they are at school face-to-face, if it is necessary for them to take a device to school, that teacher will instruct them. That teacher will instruct them and assist in that regard. However, there is no policy to say that every child must carry a tablet or a laptop to school when we're having regular face-to-face class, because the truth of the matter is most of the school don't have a tablet or a laptop. All right, so when we go to regular face-to-face class, teachers will do what is necessary to ensure that they are catered to where academics are concerned. For the books, for rental books, if you have not yet received your books, you need to go, when the child comes to school, will need to go to the book room and to inquire of the administrator there if the books are available for her class, for her grade or his grade. And if they are, they will be supplied the books as long as they don't have outstanding books from the previous years. Because there are some people who have not returned books from grade 7 and they are now in grade 11 and grade 10. So they can't get any books because they still have outstanding books. So as long as your account is cleared and you are in good and regular standing, your child will be able to benefit from the books that are available in the book room. So remember, it is upon availability that you'll be able to get the books from the book room, all right? Because all the books, I'm sure you understand, will not be there because some students have not returned the books as yet. Is this wrong?
Yes, I wanted to add that they must present the registration slip in order to collect their books. You must
Yes.
present the registration slip. So if you're not registered, you cannot go to the book room to collect books. All right, thank you.
Beautiful. So again, we see the importance of getting registered. When
I
you
want
come
to
to
also, Mr. Hansen, if you'd allow me, to
go
make
ahead.
to 5 of our students. If 5 of our students who are now on the Zoom platform, I'm asking 5 of our students who are on the Zoom platform to join us on YouTube to allow the presenters to come onto this platform. So I'm going to ask 5 of our students who are on this platform just to join us on YouTube so that the presenters can get into the room to make the presentation to the parents. I'm just going to ask 5 of our students to exit this platform. Thank you very much. 1 person have gone already. 2. All right, so we can have Ms. Carr and Mrs. Henry joining us and the other presenters. All right, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Hansen.
All right, Miss, thank you. I think I'm going to activate the waiting room so that we can, because other people will come in and take up those spaces that were already cleared. So I'm going to do that, Miss, and you can just check the waiting room and monitor that area. All right. All right, I see the spaces are gone. I'm not sure if Mrs. Henry and Mrs. Carr Roach were able to come in.
I'm checking to see if they're.
Wow. All right, so I'm not seeing them.
Not there, not there.
It seems as though there are other people who came on. So as I'm going to appeal to you, again, students who are here, some of you, your parents are already in the Zoom room and you are in the Zoom room as well. So you'd have taken up 2 spaces. We're asking students to join us on YouTube so that we can facilitate parents and presenters in this room. All right, so I'm going to ask you kindly just to assist us so that we can have presenters coming into the room. All right, and be able to participate in the discussion. All right, so I was on the point, well, I was moving to a new point as it relates to the reopening of school. Parents, when the students are, your children are leaving the house, I'm going to ask that you ensure that they have whatever they need as it relates to safety gear. Ensure that they have their mask, ensure that they have sanitizers with them so that they can, take care of themselves throughout the day. We will have those things at different points on the school compound, but it's very important for them to have sanitizer at their disposal so that if they touch a surface and they're not close to a hand wash station or a hand sanitizer station, they'll be able to sanitize themselves before putting their hands in their faces and so on. I'm going to also ask you parents to impress upon your children not to get too close to their friends who don't live where they live, they don't live in the same household. But when they see each other, they take off the mask, they hug, they're talking in each other's face, and they have no regard for the protocol as it relates to staying 6 feet apart, especially when they meet up with their friends. And parents, I want you that if they come to school, some people are asymptomatic, they don't show any sign. And if they come to school and pass on that virus to your child and your child brings it home to you, you may not be so fortunate as it relates to the side effects that you will experience from the illness. And so I'm asking you to impress upon your child to be safe follow the protocols. All right, follow the protocols and to try to keep the distance as best as possible. When we had the senior students on the compound, I had to be talking to them repeatedly. Put on your mask, stay 6 feet apart, come out of the person, you're too close, come off the person's shoulder, move your desk from there and put it where it's supposed to be. Why are you so close? All of those things I had to be saying repeatedly because senior students were not following the protocol. And I can just imagine that when the younger ones come onto the compound, that they're going to have challenges staying away from their friends. But it all is for the safety of everyone. Teachers, students, administrative, ancillary staff, all of us would like to be able to carry out our duties in a safe space. And so we're asking you, please, to assist us in educating the children where that is concerned. All right. I see the questions are coming. I know that there are many concerns. I see the questions are coming. I'm going to, Mrs. Rowe, if we can just allow the parent, let's address the parents know the questions that they have and the issues that they have. And I think as time goes on, some of the, what we have to say to them will come out in our responses to the questions that they have. So I'm going to ask parents that if you'd like to ask a question, if you'd like to make a comment, I'm going to ask you just to raise your hand. Use the raise hand icon and raise your hand, and I will acknowledge you when you do so. I'm also going to be monitoring the chat on YouTube. For those who will be asking their questions on YouTube, I'm going to be monitoring the chat there so that your questions too can be answered. All right.
Answer 2 questions, Mr. Hanson.
Go ahead, Miss.
The first question, somebody was asking that they saw on the circular that was posted that grade 10s are to come to school on Tuesday. I want to apologize for that error. Grade 10s only come to school Wednesday, Thursdays and Fridays. So it was an error on the circular, but we said that we would have waited until we met with you this evening to clear that up. So grade 10s would only come to school Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. So I'm going to ask you to pass the word around to your classmates, to other parents, that grade 10s only come to school Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Also, for those who would have registered online, for those who registered and did not get a slip, all you have to do, come to the main office on Monday or on the day that, any of the days that you're at school, come to the main office. They will check to ensure that you were actually registered, and then they will issue you the slip of paper so you can go to the book room. All right, so I hope that answers 2 of the questions I saw popping across the screen earlier. All right, back to you, Mr. Hanson. Are you hearing me? Anybody hearing me?
Oh, yes, I'm hearing you. I was muted, that's why.
Oh,
okay.
Also, just to also put it out there that if you want to be added to the groups, just send your number to the school WhatsApp number, which is 876-818-1965. That's 876-18-1965. Send your number, name of your child, the grade the child is in. So the number, the name, and the grade, and you will be added. You'll be added to the group. All right. Now there are parents who may be asking to be added to class groups, but we can only add you to the big groups. So if you're already in the big groups, don't send your number, because we're not adding persons to form rooms, form groups, but to the big groups. All right, thank you.
All right, somebody's asking us to type the number in the chat. So we're going to be doing that right now. We're doing that right now. I'm going to type it in YouTube as well. All right, so we're going to be taking the hands. I see Raheem Lewis, hand is raised. I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and ask your question.
Is he still muted?
All right, so I'm not getting a response from Raheem Lewis, so I'm going to move to Mrs. Miles. There's a prompt that comes up on your screen that asks you to unmute. So you have to unmute when you see that prompt and go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My son was registered and everything was paid, but I don't know where to go and find those receipts. Can he just go to the office and told them his name to get the book rentals?
Well, you need to go to the office and they'll check to see if he was registered and they'll give him a registration slip. And then he'll take that to the book room.
Okay, no problem, thanks.
You're welcome. Is this Avian or Avian?
Yes, good afternoon. All right, my question is, there is currently a flu going around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So typically, if my child has the flu, will she be able to come to school or she should stay home?
They have to stay home. Any flu-like symptom, any form of sickness, child has to stay home.
Okay, then.
If they come to the school gate and they're sniffing as if they have a stuffy nose, they will not be permitted inside.
Okay, understandable. Thanks.
No problem.
All right.
Thank you so much, Mommy. Jevoir Newman, go ahead, please. I see Raheem Lewis mic unmuted. Raheem, are you?
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Sir, Mike, I have a little complaint.
Okay, go ahead.
The uniform is my problem.
Mm-hmm. Keep talking.
Sir,
I'm listening.
over the years, I understand that the uniform is very expensive, which I don't have a problem, but over the years, I've been buying uniform every 3 weeks because I don't know if the material is for wash out or what. But now that I see that them change the pants because I went and get one today. The pants change, but the uniform top, I don't know if I can wash it and it will still stay the blue.
Every 3 weeks. You should. What have you been using to wash the uniform? We had suggested that you use liquid soap, no
it's
soap
liquid
powder.
soap I use, sir.
And you're saying that you have to change the uniform every 3 weeks?
Sir, I use liquid soap and I came down there one day. Yeah. And when I look in the school compound, the boys especially is a mess. Them uniform look like them have it from way long when. My apology, but me have to talk the truth.
All right, well, I don't know I can't tell you what the material is now that has made them because I haven't seen any of the new ones. But I've not heard a parent saying that they had to change uniforms every 3 weeks because it loses its color or its shade. So you're the first person I'm hearing with that complaint. Hopefully, though, going forward, you will not have that complaint because whatever change was made would have been to improve the quality And so you'll be able to have the uniforms for as many years as they can fit your child in school. So hopefully that is the case. Yeah, you're welcome. Who are we at now? Newman?
Good afternoon, sir.
Greetings to you.
What I want to know, I wasn't exactly, I was in another meeting also. On the days that they are not coming to school, are they not going to be engaged in class online?
No.
Why?
Because the teachers are going to be engaging other students in a face-to-face setting.
Also on Monday and Tuesday, grade 8 will be in school.
Correct.
So grade 8 will be in school on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday too?
No.
So those teachers teach grade 10 and 11?
Correct.
Okay, okay.
It's not like in the primary school where you have one teacher who teaches the students.
No,
so
I know it's not like
they can teach them on Monday and Tuesday, and they're the same people who teach them on Wednesday.
I have a high school where the teachers that teach 10 and 11 don't teach 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, we don't have that many resources like some other schools.
All right, sir.
All right, so our teachers have classes right across the grades based on the size of the school, the number of students that we have. All right.
Also, to let the parents know that because the classes are split into 2, we need more teachers because the class size have reduced to 20 when we normally have 40 in a class. So we need more teachers, so the teachers will be engaged, and so we're not able to spread it right across for any more days of the week. All right, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Hansen.
Okay. So I'm at Romar. Go ahead, Romar Kadna.
Sir?
Yes, go ahead. Your hand was raised.
Sir, saying I didn't get my rental books last year, so I was asking if I could get it when I come back to school next week.
As long as you don't have any outstanding books and you are registered, you can go to the book room to see if the books for your class are available at the book room, and you will be assisted there for sure.
No, sir, I brought them in from when October. I thought I think I brought them in from October, sir.
Right. So I'm saying you should not have a problem.
Okay, thank you.
But I want to remind you though that you getting books is upon the availability of those books, because you might go there and they don't have the books that you should be getting because they are finished. All right, so I just want you to remember that. Somebody is asking us to address the shoes. Talk about the shoes. Well, all you need to do is to get your child a regular school shoes. That's it. We don't have a school mandate as to the specific pair of shoes that you should buy for school. Just know that no sneakers are allowed in school. So you can't just go and go buy your most expensive red and white Air Jordan to wear to school. You have to get a school shoes, a regular school shoes, black shoes to wear. You know how those look because you used to wear school shoes when you were going to school, parents. That is what we are expecting of you. So please monitor that. Don't just give the child the money and send them downtown to go and buy a pair of shoes to come to school, because they might buy something that is not appropriate for school. So we're asking you to monitor what the children wear, because when they put on the uniform, we want them to reflect positivity that we're trying to develop within the institution. All right, and we have to wear and present ourselves well when we go out. It's a part of the image of the institution that we're trying to build. And so I'm going to ask you, when people see your children on the road, they shouldn't see them and believe that they don't have parents, or they are not being cared for or monitored because of how they look. All right, so we want you to bear that in mind. We don't want people to see them on the road and say, oh, they look like gangsters and they're in school uniforms. No. And the police will harass them as well. because they may think they are intruders. So I'm asking that you pay attention and ensure that whatever it is that they are wearing, it is appropriate for school, and you know what appropriate looks like. All right, so we want you to keep it that way. Alicia Jones, go ahead, please.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
I have more than one question. Is it school at home this Monday?
You just came on because we just addressed that.
I've been on, but not since I've been on. I don't hear which exact Monday.
All right, so Mrs. Rowe went through the fact that school starts on Monday the 10th. Okay. Right, for grade 7 and 8. And
is it,
are you hearing me?
The girls supposed to wear?
Again?
Is it white socks the girls supposed to wear?
Yes.
All right, that's it. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Alcatel 1, go ahead, please. Alcatel 1. All right, not hearing from you, so we're going to move on. Nathan.
Yes, Mr. Uncle. Good evening, sir.
Okay, good evening to you.
Yes, and Happy New Year, sir.
Thank you.
My daughter is new there, so I want to know the vest, the color on it, or that's like for grade 9. Oh,
I'm not even sure which color that is right now, mommy, to tell you the truth, to how long I haven't seen the uniforms. But what I can tell you though is the same color that has always been on the uniform from grade 7.
Okay.
So the color crest has not changed.
Okay, because I'm going on Saturday to get a vest for her. So I want to know if it's like blue or I don't know.
Is the same color crest that she had from grade 7?
No, she's new to the school for grade 9.
All right, good. So when you go to the store,
yes, sir.
All you need to tell them is which grade the child is going into, and they know, and they will give you the correct one.
Okay, sir.
Right. Yes, they have everything down pat as it relates to the uniform, which color for which grade.
Okay.
My brain is not processing that right now, I tell you the truth.
Okay. Have a blessed evening.
All right, thank you. Same to you.
You're welcome.
Nathaniel Brown.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, please.
Sir, I wanted to talk about my uniform shirt as well. My mommy bought the shirt for grade 8. And as you know, I didn't get to go to school because of the pandemic. And I was wondering if I could wear that same shirt for grade 9.
It's the same shirt. Nothing changes from grade 8 to 9 with the uniform.
Okay, sir.
The same uniform. The only time you have a change in your uniform for boys is when you go to from grade 9 to 10, where the color moves from to white.
Okay,
sir. That's the only time. You don't have any change. So grade 7, 8, 9 is the same uniform you wear, the exact same uniform. For the girls, the only thing that changed is the piping on the sleeve of the blouse. Nothing else changes. So you can even you can take off piping, you can add piping, just the piping on the blouse changes, nothing else. So the uniform basically is the same, almost the same for the girls from 7 to 11. All right. So somebody's asking about the IDs. When the students come back to school, we're going to arrange for the photographers to come in and to take those photographs. You would need to pay for the IDs. You will need to pay for the IDs, going to be $600. It's going to be $600 for the ID. So those of you who have not yet received IDs, we're going to ask that when the circular goes out, that you please give the child $600, let them come and pay for the ID, take the photograph so we can have it sorted out. Persons who said that they would have taken ID pictures some time ago, maybe 2 years ago or so and did not receive your ID, first and foremost, you have to check at the main office for them to go through the IDs that are there to ensure that the ID did not come for you. And also, there are some people who say they take ID when they didn't take any, take photographs when they didn't take any, say that they paid for IDs when they didn't pay for any. So you would need to come with your proof to indicate that you have paid. As long as you paid and the ID was not done for you, when the other ID period comes around, we will take your photographs, you will get your IDs, you will not need to pay a second time. All right, so please bear that in mind. But that is only if you had paid for the ID the first time and did not get it. All right, so that is for ID. I'm just going to run through the chat to see the questions that are there. All right.
Mr. Hanson, you took your ID and it has not expired, then you use it right until it is expired. So you don't need to take a new ID. The ID has not expired, you continue to use it until it's expired. All right.
Good. All right, Mrs. Rose, somebody's asking about the sixth form uniform.
All right, so the sixth form uniform will be made by the parents. A sample will be made available, hopefully by Monday. For the girls. So it's an A-line, it's plaid, just like the rest of the school is a plaid skirt, A-line skirt, with a white blouse, with the plaid piped along the button section. But a sample will be at the school for the students and the parents to look at, so they can go ahead, take their pictures and take it to their relevant dressmakers and tailors to get it done by the end of the month. For the boys, for the male students, they will wear a white shirt with a pocket on the breast. It is sold in Woolworth and other stores. And the regular blue pants that is sold at Star Walk. So if they have a great pants that they were wearing in grade 11, they can continue to wear it, but they would need a short sleeve white shirt, one pocket on the breast. And we are still working on sourcing the ties for the boys. Hopefully by the end of the month, we will have the ties available as well. All right. Thank you.
All right, Miss, don't go yet, Miss. Coming from YouTube, they're asking about the PATH lunch for students who are on PATH.
All right, so the grant that we normally receive from the ministry to prepare PATH lunches, that grant was redirected to the parents whose students are on PATH, whose children are on PATH. So the money stopped coming to the school since the pandemic. However, I was told in a meeting that we will start getting back the money by the end of the month. If that happens, then food will start be prepared cook lunches will be prepared in February. If not, the child would have to purchase lunch at the tuck shop, because the tuck shop will be the only place that the child can get something to eat. And remember, if the money is redirected to the parents, and the parents would have full responsibility to provide lunch for the child for the days that they will be at school. All right, so the grant has been redirected to the PATH office, collected by the parents until it is given back to the school. We would not be preparing any lunch, but just the tuck shops will be open for the students to purchase something. We tried. When the students came out the other day, we tried to prepare something warm for them, and it was not taken up by the students. So we don't want to go ahead and open the canteen and it is not supported, because we tried it, we sampled it when the grade 11s came in and they did not support it. All right. So I can reassure you, parents and students, that for the month of January, there will be no cooked meals by the canteen. Only the tuck shop will be providing lunch snacks for the students. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss. All right, I see somebody asking when will 9G be coming to school, or if 9G will be coming back to school. Yes, all students will be coming back to school, parents. So please keep that in mind. We have 9O, D, H, and G, they will come to school on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All right. And 9I, N, S, W will come to school Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the grade 9, there's a split with the grade 9. So INSW will come to school when the senior students are at school, and the ODHG will come to school when the junior students are at school, which is, they come Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's grade 9. So please keep that in mind. That's what that question came from YouTube. Again, parents, I see parents asking if we're going to have face-to-face classes every day. No, not going to have face-to-face classes every day. Please keep that in mind. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right. For grade 9, ODHG, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. For grade 7 and 8.
Are you seeing my screen, Mr. Hansen?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Miss. For grade 7 and 8, you come to school on Mondays and Tuesdays. Please keep that in mind. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, grade 10, 11, and 12. So it's not every day. We're going to repost the bulletin. The memo, the letter that was sent out to you with the information. We're going to make the necessary adjustments to it and repost it for those of you who may not have seen it, so that you can have the correct information going forward. All right. So it's not every day. Cost of lunch, not sure yet what that will be. It all depends on the taste of your child, because they may go to the tuck shop and they want to have a lot of stuff to eat, patty and bun and cheese and all of those things, while somebody else may just want to eat a biscuit. So the cost, that what you will pay is dependent on how much your child will eat, but lunch will have to be purchased from the tuck shop, at least for the first month. I see persons asking about registration. If you did your registration online, please go to the office to check. If you're not sure what happened, go to the main office and check. The secretaries will check and they will let you know if everything is okay. And you will need to collect the registration slip so that you can go to the book room. Or if you may need to conduct other business where registration is required, you will be able to do so. For the uniforms, Mrs. Rowe touched that already. And she said that once you didn't wear the uniform or wash it or press it or anything like that, you can return it and they will assist and give you a bigger one that can fit. But if you use it already, I'm going to ask you kindly, as a good citizen and as a member of Innswood High School family, to donate the old one that cannot fit to the school, so that other children whom parents may not be able to purchase can benefit from it. All right. So we're going to ask you, if you have uniforms at home that cannot fit your child anymore, we're asking you to bring them, donate them to the school, give them to us so that we can give them to other children who are in need. Many children who are in need, and they will appreciate it greatly. All right. So parents, please bear that in mind. Whether it's girl uniform, boy uniform, it doesn't matter. Bring it. If it's only a skirt you have, bring it. If it's only the vest you have, bring it. We will accept it. All right. What should they wear? What color shirt? Well, personally, for the boys, lower school, I would wear a blue if it was, if I was the person, but we won't tie you down to that. If you have a black polo shirt, they can let them wear it. If you have a white polo shirt, let them wear it. If you have a blue polo shirt, let them wear it. The important thing for us at this moment is that they are in school, they are not inappropriately dressed, so they're not revealing anything, and they are participating in the teaching and learning process. It's the important thing right now, and you use the time to get your uniform so that by the time February kicks in, they will have all things ready and in place. All right, so let me go back to the hands. I have quite a few. Go back to the hands. All right, Nathaniel, we answered your question already, so I'm going to go to Miss Brown. Miss Brown, unmute and go ahead, please.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, as a parent, I'd ask, about the days when the students will not be coming in, right? And I heard you respond that no teacher will be there to monitor them online. However, I'm gonna ask, will there be work provided for the student for those days?
All right, so the teachers are going to be posting assignments and additional information and so on relating to whatever they would have taught in school. Some teachers may give the students the physical copy or information physically to go home with so that they can do what they need to do in preparation for the next class. So it's not a situation where we are having a dual modality for teaching and learning right now. As it stands, we are having face-to-face school. We're having face-to-face school. We don't have the facility to have the teachers going online when the students are at home because they have to be at school teaching during that time, another set of students, right? But what we are encouraging our teachers to do is to put some content there. And there are some persons who may not put the content in the room, but they may give the physical copies to the student. So what we want is for them to go home with work or have work to do when they get home, basically. So if it's not in the classroom, they may be getting it in their books or in a circular or in a worksheet or something.
So this would be the same approach that was taken last term, right?
No, last term was online.
Yes,
Strictly
I mean, not same, but similar. So they will come in for class Monday, Tuesday, because last term they had classes Monday, Tuesday, and half day Wednesday. And we were informed that they would have been provided with adequate work, which was not, right? So now they're coming face to face. They're gonna come Monday, Tuesday, and you said the teacher is a possibility they will give them physical work to take home and do, as well as teachers will or may post work in the classroom. I do understand the resources, the human resources that some teachers teach right across the board, lower school and upper school, but at the end of the day, we still have to cater for them. We still have to give them something. Because I do understand this.
Mommy, you're saying two things, you say you understand, but you say you still have to give them stuff. You have to remember that, teachers are coming. Just allow me, mommy. Just allow me. Teachers are coming to school face to face and will be engaging students for the entire day. Right? Anything that is posted in the Google Classroom will have to be done when the teachers are at home, when they are on their own personal time now. That is when that work is going to be done, because when they are at school, they will not have the time to do it. And so there are some teachers, because of how they operate and the fact that they like to use the online space, they will continue to utilize that space to the fullest. While there are other teachers who will find it easier to have the information written on the board in the classroom and they write it in their books and go home and do it. So all of those options are available to the teachers. So while you are at home or while the children are at home, what we encourage them to do is to go into, those of you who would have collected your textbooks, go into your textbooks, look at the topics that are being taught, go onto YouTube, look at what the topics that the teachers are teaching in school, go onto YouTube, look at some videos and so on to see if you can extend what you have already learned. But as it stands now, we cannot facilitate both platforms where work is concerned. All right, so we just wanted to bear in mind that parents, you still have an important role to play as it relates to their instructions, because the teachers just cannot do both at this time because they are fully stretched. All right, so I hope you parents are clear where that aspect is concerned. Any other questions, Miss Brown?
No, this just call for concern, because that means Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday they will be left to do independent learning. And remember, parents are teachers just like you all. And we have to go out here.
Yeah, which means that you should understand more than anybody
And
else.
that is why I understand, and that is why I ask if it's even to just post something to occupy their time, right? Even if it's overnight or early morning, when they go, they know when they get up, something will be there for them to occupy their time, right? Just to hold their space. Because we know the students we have dealing with.
But just in case, miss, you don't see any information posted, I'm going to ask you to just set up a schedule for your child, let him know what he can do, show him the places where he can go to have additional extended learning taking place. Because I'm sure you know that these days you don't need a teacher to learn, because almost everything that you need can be found on the World Wide Web. And I suspect that your child was online, so you have online facilities. We still will have to do what we can do as a school, yes. And as I said, we have spoken with our teachers. Some teachers will be using the online platform. Some teachers will be using the traditional method. But all in all, your child should be coming home with some work to do. I can't say that it's going to be for every single subject area every week, but I am sure they will be having some work to do when they get home, and you can follow up and do some extra work with them as well, parents. We really appreciate that, taking into consideration the context in which we are now operating. All right, so thank you so much, Ms. Brown. I'm going to move to Mrs. Miles. Mrs. Miles, go ahead, please.
Hello. My son, he does not have the uniform, and I am willing to buy the uniform and the bag, and he's going to need book. But there's a problem. He has a black Reebok, and I am able to let him wear that for now. Is there a problem with that?
No.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right.
N. Burke.
Sir.
Yes.
A pleasant good evening.
Good evening to you too.
I was listening to you a while ago addressing Miss, if I'm not addressing her right, Miss or Mrs. Brown. And the last part of it where the students are left on their own, I am not comfortable with that, because he used to attend St. John's Primary. And when a set of the children is at school, the other set is online. So if it's the case where the teachers need a little bit of upgrade in that department, I would appreciate it if the school would consider doing that.
All right, Mommy, let me put it plain to you. The number of students that we have in our school is over 1,600. All right. The number of teachers that we have, in order for us to have different teachers for upper school and from those who are for lower school, we will need a lot more teachers in the school. And the Ministry of Education, they have already said to us that we will not receive any additional resources. We will not be getting any additional teachers. So we have to utilize the teachers that we already have. So as a school, we have to create a model that suits our environment, where the resources that we have can be utilized to the best of our abilities, taking all parties into consideration. So while there are some institutions who may be able to have the different teachers online from those who are face-to-face, we don't have that facility because of the number of students that we have and the number of teachers that we have. So we have to set up our framework so that we can have the students coming out as many days as they can and be facilitated face-to-face. But to the extent where we're going to have them going online, when the students are not at school, that will not be possible. I don't know if you are aware of what is happening in some of the other high schools in the Spanish Town area, but we have some schools where students are seeing the teacher once every 2 weeks for face-to-face, and then they have to go online. But because of our context, our children are not necessarily coming online. So we have to see how best we can have them come face-to-face and treat with that situation. So we have to develop the timetable and deploy our staff in a way where we can have most of our children coming face to face and attending to them. But we are unable to do face to face and online at the same time. We don't have the resources for it, any at all. So we can't do that. All right, so you will still, as parents, need to put in a lot of work to help to educate the children during this time. We are still in a pandemic. We are still operating under pandemic standards. So we can't just have everybody come back face to face, but still we don't have the resources to treat with people being online when they are face to face. So I hope you can understand and appreciate that. All right. If we could have had it otherwise, we would have done it otherwise, but it won't work for us any at all.
At this primary school, sorry, it was just it's form teacher teach every subject, you know. But at your school, you have teachers teaching different subjects.
Right.
So one teacher doing all of that work. One teacher teaching the math, the task, everything. Goes along with the fence.
Yeah, that is how primary schools operate. But we have at the high school level, we have specialist teachers. So teachers specialize in different areas. At primary school, one teacher will do all the subjects. But that's not how we operate at the high school level.
All right, my next concern to you now is that my son don't know the school. He did not came to the summer class for a particular reason, which I don't want to disclose to everyone right now. So he doesn't know the school. He loved the history anyway, but on Monday, should I turn up with him? He doesn't know the school.
Well, you're gonna carry him and drop him off and then wait for him at the gate outside, or you're gonna leave and come back in the afternoon, but we don't have any facility for you to be on the school compound.
But like how he's just stranger to the compound, how is he gonna manage there?
Once he comes through the gate, we will take care of him. He will manage just fine. It's not his first time going to school, remember that. He will manage just fine. We will instruct them. We will put them where they need to go, give them all the information that they need. Your concern would have to be when school dismiss and for him to get home. Because if you're saying that he's coming there for the first time, maybe he doesn't know where to go and get the taxi or take the bus or anything like that. So you will need to, you should have already carried him to school from orientation, but that wasn't done because we had orientation for all our students, for all our new students.
He's an underlying ailment person, so he never came up. Still is, and I'm a bit scared, but.
Yeah, but mommy, listen to what you're saying to me. You're saying that the child had an underlying illness in August. The child still has that same underlying illness now, and the child will be coming to school face to face.
You heard the last.
And the cases are even higher now than they were during that time.
I am scared. I am afraid.
So you just need to educate the child. Just tell the child where to go to get the bus, where to go to the taxi, or you can tomorrow put on your clothes, or Monday put on your clothes, showing where to take the taxi, where to come off. You can either go home and come back in the afternoon, or you'd have to go deal with some other stuff because you won't be on the school compound. We can't facilitate you on the school compound. And then at dismissal time, you can come back, meet him at the gate, show him where to go, where to stand, where to come off the bus or the taxi, so that he can get home. And by the time Tuesday comes around, you just give him his fare and his lunch money and send him out. And he'll be fine.
Not comfortable with the school reopening though.
I understand, but some parents were long awaiting it. So, but I understand. All right, I'm gonna move to the next person.
Mr. Hanson, before you move to the next hand, we have a representative from Star Walk. He identified himself as Michael. I don't know if you want to give him the, unmute him. If Michael, if you're hearing us from Star Walk, you do the.
Could you just raise your hand.
Raise your hand, Michael, if you can hear us from Star Walk. Michael from Star Walk.
The answer is there, but he need to be to unmute himself, or you need to unmute him. But he's
No, I'm
there
telling him to
talking
raise his hand so that he can come to the
now.
top.
He raises his hand several times.
No,
he's
man.
raising his hand right now.
Michael?
Right.
Several hands are raising, so he wouldn't come up to the top, maybe.
Oh.
What is he on as, Michael?
Yes.
Michael, right, in a blue Yanzi.
So, sir, that is not how you raise your hands, okay? You raise your hand using the icon and Zoom. Not your physical hand, because I'm not seeing your physical hand. So I don't even know if you're in blue Ganzi or white Ganzi. Raise your hand using the icon so that I can see you. Because I can't see you right now.
I maybe cannot find it.
Yes, his hand is raised.
Okay.
Okay, I'm seeing you now. Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening. All right, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours. Parents have some questions. I can start off by shooting one to you. One of them, just this morning, a parent called me to say that she's uncomfortable with the fact that she is paying for the uniform, and she was informed that the crest was going to be on the uniform, and she's getting it detached, and now we'll have to go to a tailor to pay to sew it on, and she's very uncomfortable with that situation. She believes that she's been mistreated by it, and she's not the first parent. Many parents would have called me on it. So I'm going to ask that you address that and any other concerns that you probably would have seen in the store. You can share with the parents. They are here and they are waiting to hear from you.
And most importantly, sir, the prices. They want to know
the prices, right?
Okay, the prices are the same from 2018. We haven't raised anything. And the next thing about the crest. Okay, we're providing crest separate from the shirt because some parents were having issue like they have to take it in, then the crest was going under the arm or under the bag which they're gonna wear on the school, the knapsack bag. So they were saying if we could get the crest separately, as well as the crest is an press-on crest, which can easily be pressed on the uniform and it will stick to it. We just suggest the parents, so if you sew it on, that would be more better, so it can last more longer. And if even still parents have problem, we're willing to give them the tailor money so they can get it sewn.
Michael, we still want you to state the prices, even though you say it's the same, because some parents are just telling us they don't know the 2018 prices.
Okay, no problem. The boys' uniform suit is for 4,200, and the girls' one is for 5,200. If you want me to put specific ones, or the suit one is okay, like the complete suit.
Some persons may just be buying maybe the top or the bottom, so you can maybe state.
Okay. For boys, the shirt is for 2,100 and the pants is for 2,100.
Go ahead, girls.
And for the girls, the blouse is for 1,200, the vest is for 18, and the skirt is for 2,200.
All right. They're also talking about the quality of the uniform.
I haven't seen anybody
the last time is
about the quality.
Have you changed the quality? Because they were saying that the pants showed very quickly.
We changed. No, the last time the pants we did get, it's the same pants. We just put a little more cotton into it, so it can last more longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
One parent, sir, just about a half an hour ago was complaining that she had to change shirt every 3 weeks because the shirt was losing its color and so on. I think, when was that? 2019, 2020?
It's not one parent. I got a couple of those. and explain to them that it's all because of certain type of detergents and the fab soaps which we use, because they are bringing some chemicals to make the fabric smell sweet and the stain to leave. If it doesn't have a stain, I'll just suggest you to rinse it in a normal soap, what do you call this, liquid soap. Yeah, and it will stay as it is. Because we have tested before we supply it. And we washed several times.
No, thank you, sir. That is exactly
You're
what I
welcome.
was saying to the mother. So I hope that she will get better results this time around. There's a parent in the chat saying that she purchased a full suit of uniform and she did not get a crest.
Okay,
So
she can come
parent,
and
you need to go back to the store.
That might be a little mistake. You know, sometimes place is busy. But that's completely fine. She can come and collect it.
Yeah, you can go back to the store, all right, parent, and just need to indicate which grade the child is going into, and they'll give you the crest, so you can put it on. All right, if you have any questions specifically to the Repertoire Michael from Star Walk, I'm going to ask that you type it in the chat, because I'm seeing a lot of hands raised, and I know that some of these hands is not really relating to the uniform. So, or if you can't type in the chat and you want to ask a question to him directly, you can raise your hand now, and I will be able to identify you and allow you to ask your question. What I think, I'm looking through the chat in YouTube, sir, and somebody's complaining that they bought a 2XL and the sleeve was too small. And so I think, I don't know if it is the shirt that doesn't fit the body of the child and so on. But the real question I would like to ask you, if a parent comes to the store and the child is unable to get the right fit, is there any provision made where you can have uniforms sorted out for that particular child?
Yeah, it happened, I think 2018, first year when we started. One child used to wear a little bit extra than, like he was a little bit chubby than the rest of the child's them. So we did have to make it for him, and it took us 1 week, lesser than 1 week too. So it was available. From that, nobody never came and said that they wanted a little bit extra bigger or something like that.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to make you co-host, sir, so that just in case somebody has a question, you are able to unmute yourself freely and to respond. All right, so I'm going to take some of the hands that are raised now, and if there's a question specifically regarding the uniforms, then you'll be able to respond to it. So let me get back to the other hands. Thank you so much, sir, for coming and for sharing. Really appreciate it. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Enjoy yourself.
All right, Miss Hines Wilson.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I had a question in the chat and it wasn't addressed, so I'm asking again. For grade 10, do they have individual WhatsApp class groups?
You're asking about if grade 10 has a WhatsApp class group?
Yeah, for the class. I am in the cohort and the wider Innswood group.
You'd have to talk to the form. You'd have to, well, if you're in the group in the cohort, then that is where we communicate. We don't communicate in class groups. If you want to find out if there is a WhatsApp group specifically for the class that your child is in, for what? For different subjects or for the form class? What exactly? Form class? Then you'd have to ask that question of your form teacher in the Google Classroom.
I've been asking that from September. All right, I'll do it again. Did I hear you say the boys should wear white shirt? Grade 10?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing you clearly. I'm not sure what you're asking. And Mrs. Rod, I don't know if you're hearing me.
Did I hear you say the grade 10 boys should wear white shirt?
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you. And then the last question. Today, for our
I'm not hearing you. I don't know if you're speaking, but I'm not hearing you.
Are you hearing me better now?
I'm hearing you now. Yes, go ahead.
I'm saying this is a concern that I dealt with from last term, that sometimes no teacher turns up in the class and the children are just left on their own. Teachers don't come in or send a message of apology or so on, and children they're just left with no explanation. That happened today in RE class. So I'm just gonna ask you to just, or the teachers, to just be a little more attentive. I mean, sometimes some things may come up suddenly, which may prevent them from attending the class. But I mean, they can send a message to say there will be no class today, or class will be late, or so on.
All right, thank you, Mommy. That is exactly what we have asked all our teachers to do. So that's really unfortunate. Hopefully, though, we won't have that situation going forward because the students are going to be operating face to face. So, you know, hopefully we'll be able to have class consistently each day. Really. Oh, go ahead.
I understand. SBAs, when will they be issued?
Well, I don't think it's a situation have been issued. The teachers would have started different aspects of the SBAs for different subject areas. So
that is something
I don't think I don't think it's an issuing thing.
All right, it's something I'm gonna have to check on because I'm not really seeing any from my end. So I'll have to double.
What class is the child in, Mommy? What class is the child in?
10I.
We're just issuing SBAs for grade 11 students.
Grade 11, yeah, you wouldn't start that yet.
They wouldn't start any SBA from grade 10?
They started in December of the final term in grade 10.
Yeah, so they wouldn't start that yet.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Mr. Hansen, before we move to the next question, I saw somebody talking about students being transported to school. There, you may see in the media that they are resurrecting the rail, the trains, and we are a part of the pilot of 6 high schools who were given the opportunity to have 80 of our PATH students benefit from the railway service. And so currently we have a little bit over 20 students names submitted already. So if your child is on PATH and you live in the Old Harbor area and you would like your child to ride the train back and forth to school, the child will be shuttled from the train to school. Then you can give your name to the guidance counselor, Mr. Balin Singh, who would add your name to the list so your child can get a card to access the train come Monday. So you can come Monday or you can come to school tomorrow between 9 and 3, give your name, your child's name, contact information, address, everything that you need to give, and we will put your name on the list so that your child can benefit from the rail. It will start on Monday for 6 high schools in St. Catherine. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss. I see somebody asking why we don't use regular car key. You know, why we chose to use Star Walk. Since the uniform is too expensive. All right. Well, that would indicate from the question you're asking is that you're a new parent, because the parents of the institution agreed to have this uniform because we changed our uniforms. And Innswood High School was never a school, since I've been there, it was never a school that wears full khaki. The boys only wore a khaki pants at one point. All right, so we are not a school that traditionally wore full khaki for boys. However, we were having a lot of issues with uniforms. And so in order for us to regularize the uniforms and have the uniforms being built properly and worn properly, decision was taken to have one distributor making those uniforms, because parents parents, we suspected back at the time when this decision was taken, would allow their children to do what they want to do with the uniforms. And then because of that, they were not being admitted into school because they were inappropriately attired. And so to alleviate that problem, we had one standard of uniforms, and that's what we have been using now for the last 3 or 4 years. Okay, so, and that is a decision that was taken by PTA and the school board. So that is where we are at the moment. And so far we have had less issues with uniforms. Thanks be to God. All right, so somebody's asking, when will grade 10 do CSEC?
Sir, can I just step in before you talk about the CSEC? I just add to what Mrs. Rogers said. I want to go read the railway situation, the train situation.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so even though it is primarily for part students, those who are not on part can also send me their names and numbers, so I can put it on the list. But as I said again, it is primarily for part students. Those who take vehicle to Spanish Town or to Ola, but maybe if you live in somewhere out of Spanish Town, you take your transport to Spanish Town, you can take the train from Spanish. You should take the train from Spanish Town to Innswood because there should be a stop at Heartland there. However, if there's no stop at Heartland, then of course, if you take the train maybe from Maypen to Spanish Town, a shuttle, a bus, a JU City bus should take you to Innswood High School. But for now, I think there should be a stop at Heartland. But again, I said if there's no stop at Heartland, there should be a shuttle to take you from Spanish Town to Innswood High School. So anybody who take vehicle to Innswood, to Spanish Town or to Old Harbour, you can take the train from Old Harbour or from Spanish Town to go to school. The ministry will pay for that transportation there. But if you're taking your vehicle from anywhere to Spanish Town or to Old Harbour, you have to pay for that. But once you're on the train, it will be the ministry that will take care of that fare there. It will be a cardless system, so you don't want, the child will not angle money or anything like that. The card will be refilled at the school whenever it is necessary. And please note that the child should not share his or her card with anybody else. If that happens, the child may lose her privilege from that. My number is 827-9569. That's Mr. Balancing, one of the guidance counselor here. Again, my number is 827-9569. I have sent a message into the chat, so you can view the chat for the number and a little bit more understanding of the program. But again, my number is 827-9569. Thank you very much, Sir Anson.
You are welcome, sir. All right, so we're going to move on to the next. Before we even move on, somebody was asking when will the grade 10s be doing CSEC? Once you're in grade 10, there are some subjects that are on the CSEC syllabus, so the child will already be doing CSEC because they're on the CSEC syllabus. So I'm not sure what specifically you're asking, but there are some grades that are on straight CSEC curriculum, and there are other classes in grade 10 that are on CSEC City and Guilds curriculum. So based on the class that your child is in, you should be aware of, the syllabus that they are functioning or operating on. Any uniform available tomorrow? Uniform is available every day. Once the store is open, you can go there to check for uniforms. And that is in Star Walk, in the LOJ Shopping Center, or some people call it the Sagicor Plaza in Spanish Town. All right.
Or Hilo.
Or Hilo Plaza, the one that the Hilo supermarket is on. Thank you, miss. Same place. Okay, let me go back to the next one. Our time is running, parents. Our time is running, so let us go quickly. Lisa, go ahead, please. You're very low. I'm hardly hearing you.
I didn't quite get what you were saying about the ID. And
ID?
my son paid for it. know my son paid for it and took it in grade 7, but he did not collect.
Yes, so you need to go to the office. You need to go to the main office and check on the ID. The secretaries will go through the batch because we have IDs there from way back then that they have still not collected to see if the ID is there for your child. If it's not there, then you will just need to ensure that his name is recorded so that when the next time comes around for us to do IDs, we will add him to the list and have it done.
Okay.
That is if you can prove that you actually paid for the ID.
Okay. One more thing. If the part you can part and set the state and stop our part. This is the bottom side of the school. How does he reach to the school?
So balancing that question is for you, sir. So balancing.
So what was the question again?
The parent is asking, how does the child get up to the school if the train is going to let them off a distance away from the school?
No, man, if it's Heartland, then the child would walk. Well, I'm supposing the child would walk from Heartland to school. It's at a far distance, but there should be security along the way there. However, if it's in Spanish Town, there should be a shuttle, a JUCT bus that take the child to Innswood High School.
Sir, I used to attend Innswood, so I know far Heartland is from Innswood, sir, and that is a good distance, sir. And I would not let my child to let off there. I'd rather us even to go to Spanish Town, but you guys need to prepare something from Heartland to come up to the school because it's like this good little distance.
Well, that will be discussed with the person responsible. But for now, I cannot answer that question as to if there will be a shuttle from Heartland to Innswood High School. I cannot answer that question there.
Okay, but then unless you guys, what I'm saying is, if you guys even have known like a taxi that runs from there, could ask them to like pick them up. The student will have to pay that part of the fare coming to the school. Wouldn't that be good?
Could be, but what the system wants to do is for the child the system would pay all the fees and responsible. Like the JUCT responsible system like that will take care of the child, not a taxi or anything like that. So it's a system that will exclude the taxi and the minibus.
Okay.
So I understand the concern regarding the distance from Heartland. If it's a 7th grade student, then maybe it's a quicker, shorter distance to go at the 7th grade block. But for 8 going up, it should be a longer distance.
It's an 8th grade.
Discuss with the relevant persons, but for now, just submit your name. So if you whatever is discussed and you disagree with it, then you'll be excluded. If you agree, then your name will be submitted. Okay.
Okay. Could you send your number in the 8th grade group for me, please? I am at work and I really can't take the number at the moment. But could you send it in the 8th grade group? I can get it from there.
No problem, miss. No problem.
All right, thanks very much.
Mr. Hansen, if you just allow me, I saw a person asking about what time the train leaving. The train departs Old Harbour at 6:20 a.m. It reaches Heartlands at 6:40 and leaves, and it reaches Spanish Town at 6:53. Departs Spanish Town at 4:30. Gets to Heartland at 4:40, reach Old Harbour at 5:03. That's a schedule that we received from the region office.
All right, thank you so much, Miss. I see somebody asking if they must take the train. No, the decision is yours. You decide whether or not you want your child to take the train. You have to look at the pros and the cons and take a decision for the safety of your child. All right, that's not what we're doing. Ministry is trying to put in place a facility for those who may not be able to pay the fare, to get them to come to school. But if you are not comfortable with this arrangement, you can go ahead and make other arrangements for your child to come to school and get to school on time. All right, really appreciate that. And
somebody
somebody,
asked, sir, answer, sorry, about where's the station at Olava? The train station. It is right at the fire station. That's where the fire station is. The station is right down there. You can't miss it at all because there will be a railroad to go across the fire station. So that's where the station is for Olava.
right, close to where the toll road passes
It
over
will,
the
right,
Oldaba
right,
Bay.
right. Okay.
So that is the area. All right, so I'm gonna move to, we're trying to deal with the questions that are coming in the chat as well. And we are moving. No, there are no uniforms at school, all right? The uniforms are at the store. You come by the school, you won't see any uniform there. What time does school start daily? 8 o'clock. So you have to get to school for 8 o'clock, all right? Okay, very well. Let's move to the next person. This is what? Durden, and I can't see the rest of the name. Unmute, please, and go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
I need a uniform.
Yes.
We bought her a suit of uniform, but now she's telling me that the skirt is tight, but has never been worn. That's the top. Could I bring back the skirt, the skirt, or would I put everything together?
As long as it was never worn, you can bring it back and ask for their assistance at the store.
The skirt by itself?
Yes.
And can I get a blouse to buy separately? And she has one skirt.
Sure, you can buy whichever part of the uniform you want to purchase. You can purchase it.
In part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, man. Whichever, if you want a pants or a shirt or a blouse, whatever part you want to purchase, you can purchase it.
I want to find out.
That's not a problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Romar, go ahead, please.
Sir.
Yes.
Why can't a bus come to Jobs Lane and St. John's Road to pick up the students, sir? And we could still pay our fare, sir. Why can't they do that?
Were you talking about the bus that runs from Old Harbour to Spanish Town?
Yes, sir.
Because they have a road license that allows them to travel on a particular route. So if they change from that route and take a different route and the police sees them, the police is going to ticket them or seize them.
They can get in trouble. I know that.
That's why they don't take that route.
Sir, I know they can get in trouble. But sir, why can't a different bus come to these places? Even Crossroads, sir, at the gas station, right? You know, Feather Bed Lane, sir, right?
Yes, I know you're talking, but you see, we would have to have enough students there for us to persuade a bus owner to come there to carry students down to Innswood. You would have to have a large number of students that they can actually carry you and say that, well, it is cost effective. If we have 10 or so students or 15 students, they're not going to take the trip because they're going to charge you a lot of money to carry you.
Okay, sir.
From that close distance. Mm-hmm.
I had my ID from grade 7, but I left my ID in the science lab. Sir, do I have to pay back for ID to take
Yes, if you can't find your ID, you'll need to pay for a new one.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Galaxy Tab E. Galaxy Tab E, unmute and go ahead, please. All right, no Galaxy Tab E, so we're gonna move down to Lenovo Tab 2A. All right, not seeing Lenovo, so I'm gonna go to Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn, please go ahead.
What's up, my man?
Yes, go ahead, I'm hearing you.
Oh, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you.
Good evening, teachers and parents. Sir, if a child is living in church, then it's hard for that child to get the train. And it does not work out because you have to pay to Holdaba and pay to the train station.
I agree. So you just take the regular bus to school.
Okay, sir.
Let's take the regular bus. I agree. That would probably cost you more. All right. So where am I at? I am at Claudia. Unmute and go ahead, please.
Good evening, everyone. Sir, the train station is a good way from Old Harbour Town. The time the child takes to walk, go down there, or maybe have to pay a taxi, go down there, then they would just might as well take a bus to school. I think it would be better if that shuttle bus that would pick them up from this train station in Town would travel through Old Harbour. From Old Harbour to Innswood, and if you go to Spanish Town and back to Innswood.
I understand your concern, Mommy, but at this time, the train is a facility that is being offered by the government. You know, even though we may have other persons, like some parents, you may have other views, believe that other methods would have probably worked better. As it stands now, that is what they are offering. And so for those who are able to, I would encourage you, utilize it if you can. For those who think that it would cost more or it would not be safe, you can choose to use the traditional method of getting to school, take the bus, regular bus, and so on. But it's an option that is there for those who would like to participate in that.
I think it's going to cost more because you have a lot of students that don't live in Old Harbour Town. And from Old Harbour Town to this train station, that would be another fare. So I don't think that's helping out the parents them at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1 second there, let me clarify something here. Because this call a while ago and asking that what about the bus that take you from Spanish Town to school? You have to take the train first, and then depends on where you live. If a bus, the train is going to take you to Heartland, they will just take the train to Heartland from Spanish Town. But there will not be a bus when you leave your yard. You come to Spanish Town. There will not be a bus that take you to Innswood High School. It's only for the train persons. So once you're on the train, you took the train. Then again, if there's no Heartland stop, then a JCT bus will take you to Innswood High School. If there's a Heartland stop, then the train will take you to Heartland and you stop there. Remember, parents, for the train system, you will not pay any money for that. And then was talking about the cost effectiveness of it. So as Mr. Answer said, if you feel it is viable, then you work with it. If not, it's okay. All right, thanks so much.
Also, Mr. Ballington, good evening, colleagues, good evening, parents, students. The train is not accessible to everyone. It's only those who you need a card to be able to access it because it's a cashless system. So only those students whose names have been submitted as a part of this program. For now, it is just a pilot program and not everyone will have access to it. So you can just go down to the train station and just hop on to the train for now.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Roach. Thank you very much for that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Balancing and Mrs. Roach. Somebody
And
in
just to add quickly, Mr. Hans, that the cards, the students whose names were submitted, the cards are at school for them to pick up. All right.
Okay, how will they
All the
know
names.
if their name was submitted?
Mr. Balancing would be the one to inform them.
Yes, I will call him and tell him. Sure.
Right, so you can come and collect. All right, so you can come and collect Mr. Balancing and issue to those students. And the
No
list.
problem, miss. No problem.
All right, so somebody was asking in the chat for how long can we wear jeans to school? Remember, let me just say this out here. If you have your uniforms, you are not allowed to wear jeans because you can't just wear your jeans and come to school, you know. As if you come to school and you're wearing jeans, I'm going to need to talk to your parents because I will want to find out what are the circumstances around you wearing jeans. But you can't just get up one morning and decide that you don't want to wear your uniform and put on a jeans pants and a shirt and come to school. No. So I just want to put that out there. Because in order for you to come in your jeans pants and polo shirt, I will need to give you a pass. In order for you to go to class and so on, I will need to give you a pass. You can't just walk in and go in and do what you please in your jeans. So I would advise you, if you have your uniforms, don't bother to wear jeans because you might go through some hassle. Now, for those who will be given permission to wear jeans, you will have up until the end of January to do so. When February starts, no jeans will be coming back to school. So you'll have just about 2.5 weeks, basically, to get things in place for school. All right? So please keep that in mind.
Mr. Hanson.
Yes, miss.
Also, the students who are coming who are not in uniform, shouldn't they will be accompanied by a letter as well, correct?
Right.
From the, yes, so that you would have the letter so you can hand out the pass.
So
the parents would have to give them a letter to bring with them, with their contact number.
Right.
So it can be verified.
So we can verify. So parents, you can't don't just put them in it and send them. You need to send them with a letter to state that this is the situation so that we can know legitimately and we can call you and talk to you and know that it's legitimate. Because parents, some of them will put on them uniform at home and change and put on jeans pants and come to school in jeans and make it look like a jeans them leave the house in. Some of them are not trustworthy. And I want you to appreciate when we say to you, we are going to do our checks to ensure that your parents really send you out of the house in jeans pants. And so your parents will utilize the time that they have to get your uniform. So don't take it for granted. And listen, parents, I want you to understand this. Because then we'll leave school in them jeans pants and go to Spanish Town and Ola, but go sport because of what they are wearing. And go to places that you didn't send them because they are wearing jeans and shirt. So I want you to understand the seriousness of us even allowing them to wear those things to school. Because when they're in their uniform, people will see them and say, oh, you're a school girl, what are you doing here, so? And so on. But when they have on regular clothes, they might not do that. So it's for their own safety why we want them to wear uniforms as well. So please don't take it lightly. It is a serious thing, and we want you to work with us so that we can keep our children safe. Alicia Jones.
Just to add to that,
go ahead.
Answer,
go ahead, miss.
That there are some students who may want to wear the uniform 2 days and 2 days jeans because saying that the uniform is dirty. No. You're to wash your uniform and wear it to school all the days that you're supposed to be at school. So if you show up in uniform on Tuesday, you're expected to be in your uniform for the 4 days. I don't want any child to come one day in uniform and the other day in clothes or jeans to say that the uniform is dirty. Uniform it is, and the persons who are going to be coming in jeans would be accompanied with a letter. All right, thank you.
Amen to that. Amen and amen. Alicia Jones, unmute and go ahead, please. We are wrapping up. This is the last hand.
Good night again. You sign up to get in the train program. The thing.
This is Car Roach, Mr. Balancing. This is Ro. That one is for one of you.
Let me take that on, Mr. Answer. Yeah, you can call me, Mr. Balancing, at 827-9569. I'll have to take some information from you. For example, your child's date of birth, if you actually have any ID, and your name and contact number. And provided you're on the PART program. But if you're not on the PART program, you still can sign up. But as I said before, it is primarily for the PART students. Again, if you're not on the PART program, you can
She
still
signed up to
sign
be on
up.
the. She signed up to be on the part, but it's not.
Come through
It
as
don't
yet.
come through as it. Yeah.
Still, send your information to me, okay?
Okay.
No
How would I get
problem.
the number? Because I don't have anything to take it down right now.
Which class is child is in? Which grade?
7N.
So I will send it to the 7th grade group. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And a next question to had, sir. Not about the train, but the teacher.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
Like before, when them do go primary school, they have like before them do the PEP, then they have like 2 days for some kids and 3 days for some kids. Why it's not like that at the high school?
Sister, you want to take that one?
I didn't hear her clearly. 2 days for some kids. I don't
You say in
understand.
primary school they had 2 days for some and 3 days. Why it's not like that at high school?
It's the same thing we have here. 2 days for some and 3 days for some and 4 days for some.
No, as in grade 7 is 2 days and grade 10 are 3 days. So I wonder if they couldn't do it for the next week. Like
because the students may lose track of the students may lose track of when they came to, which week they came 2 days and which week. It can be confusing for some persons, especially if they are absent from school. So in order to reduce the confusion, we just have set days when they come. So they know that every Monday and Tuesday, they're supposed to be at school.
All right, thanks.
All right.
And the truth is, you see, mommy, when they're in primary school, parents follow up on them, check up on them, and ensure that they are ready for school and everything is in place. When they come to high school, based on our experience, 50%, more than 50% of the parents don't check up and follow up on them anymore. So they are left to do things on their own. And when that happens, it's confusion. So we have to try and set it so that to minimize the confusion. All right. And also we have to set it that way because of the resources that we have available to us. Classroom spaces that we have, the number of teachers that we have, and all of that. All right.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. Somebody's asking if parents are allowed to come with the children on Monday. You can bring them, come and drop them off and leave. And then you can come back at the end of the school day and pick them up. But we really don't need the parents as long as they are registered for school. We don't need you. If they can find their way to school, let them take the bus and come to school or the taxi, and we will take care of them until after school we'll send them back home to you. So we really don't need the parents, all right? The people we need are the children.
Sorry, Mr. Hansen. Additionally, we want to express that we're in the middle of a pandemic and there are we are taking into consideration the protocols that must be observed. So that is one of the important reasons we cannot facilitate the parents on the compound.
The parent is asking, how do they know if a child is registered? But mommy, you're the one who registered them, so you should know. Because as long as you carry in all the documents, do your paperwork, and so on, then you will know that the child is registered. So if you did all of that, then you should be fine. If you want something to keep to indicate that the child is registered, you probably need to go to the office and get a registration slip. There's a sheet of paper that they'll give you, and that will indicate that your child is registered for school. All right, so That is how you can verify if the child is registered. You have to go to the office and they will sort that out. Monday and Tuesday, school starts. Whatever we need to do as teachers, administrators with the students, that is what we will be doing. But Monday, school starts for grade 7, 8, and some of our grade 9 students. So you have school, all right? Whatever we decide to do on the day with you, just remember that you have school. So you must be present at school. All of you, parents, all of the children must be present. So I'm talking to you who are on YouTube now. We have school. Look at your timetable. We're going to send the timetables out in the different groups. Check them. We're going to post them in the Google Classrooms as well. Check to see which days you are supposed to come, which subjects you are supposed to have. Pack your bag with your books and so on. Prepare yourselves. School starts next week. Prepare yourselves for school. All right? Please do so. All right. I want to thank you so much for coming and sharing. We want to thank you for your input. Thank you, colleagues who came out, and those of you who participated in the discussion, helped us to answer some of the questions that we had. Parents, want to thank you so much for coming. I don't know if Mrs. Henry is in this room yet. She's on YouTube talking to the people on YouTube. So I want to thank you, Mrs. Henry, for the work that you have been doing over there on YouTube, responding to questions and so on. Parents, if you have other questions, you can reach out to us. You got some numbers. You got the school number. It was typed in the chat a few times. You can send your questions there and we will attend to your questions. It is now 13 minutes after 7. So we are past our ending time and we'll have to cut off. All right. Hope we were able to clarify your concerns, answer your questions. Hope they're a little bit more comfortable now. And we continue to put plans in place and do what we need to do to ensure that your child is catered to and that education continues for all our children. So thank you so much for coming. Happy New Year to all of you. All the best for 2022. And I'm looking forward to seeing you when we get into our face-to-face environment. Mrs. Rowe, I'll hand over to you to give your final comments and then we will close out this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. All right, parents, as I want to endorse what Mr. Hanson said, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for partnering with us. I know that some of you would have been weary of your children being at home and you're excited to have them out. But remember, the partnership still continues. We want you to be as involved in your child's education as possible, especially now that we will not have them for 5 days. You will still be responsible for them for some days. And also remember, psychosocially, some of them have a lot of challenges. We lost one of our students a couple of weeks ago. She committed suicide. I know you may have heard about it. So parents, you need to talk to your children. You need to be there for them, to support them. It is very difficult for them to transition. The world is changing and they're going through this for the first time. So we want to have your support. So I know that some of you are working, but the Google Classrooms are there. The physical books are there. Your children are there. Please sit, have a conversation with them about what is going on. Be on top of things. You have so many different ways to reach us now. So I'm asking you to reach out to us. Don't sit there and say you're not getting any information. Try to join a group. Come to the school. We are there from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. You can come. We have an open door policy. All our administrators are available. Coordinators are available. Subject teachers, the dean is there, the guidance counselors are there available to answer all your queries and to support you. So support is there at the school. So you now have to re-engage your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit into back to school and to support your child as best as possible so that we can all transition into the new normal. This is going to become the way of life. We're not going back to what we used to back 2 years ago. Things will not be the same. A lot of things have changed and will remain how they are. So you have to get on board with what is happening. So ask questions, get involved so that you can support your child. Find out what is happening from the teachers, find out what is happening from your child so that everybody can be supported and get to achieve their goals. All the best for the rest of the term. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Remember, you can still get to us on the numbers. I'm going to say it one last time, 818-1965. You can get us at the main office. If you have a query, you can send a WhatsApp message if you're at work. And there are so many other ways that you can reach out to a staff member. So all the best as we work together. Parents, we work together for the rest of the school year so that your child can be successful. All the best. Have a good evening. And I'm looking forward to seeing you students come Monday, Tuesday, all of next week and onward. And do enjoy the rest of your night. All right, thank you.
All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for